Hello and welcome. I'm Steve Watson here at Someday Farm with this edition of Nèijiāquán Challenge. This would work for a student of Baguazhang, Xingyichuan, Aikido, Tai Chi Chuan. I'm in a Tai Chi mode at the moment, so that's probably what I'll be doing. Remember, this is for somebody that's experienced and looking for something a little bit more than they have in their curriculum class, in their style, in the school with their teacher currently, and has the the safe skill to try this kind of stuff. So I'm not challenging you. I'm just saying that if you know that you're safely somebody that's going to benefit from a challenge, here's a challenge. So the idea here is to consider a principle that you normally have with you as you practice your art. So let's say, for example, that's this because it'll show up on camera, lifting from the head top, right? Plucking up the head, the bike way to the sky, the string on the head. Now, the more that I practice, the more likely I'm going to do that fairly well, and the more likely that any errors that I make are going to be fairly small. Eventually, they're gross. I don't even know it. Uh, then they're moderate. Then they're small. Then perhaps minuscule and occasional or rare. And what tends to happen, not just through my course of study, but in an actual practice session, if I start at a very good place in terms of my head plucked up, right? Because I'm so experienced and I'm used to paying attention, lifeguarding that kind of an error, um, the moment I come a little bit out of it, I readjust it, I correct it, I improve. So I spend a more and more minimal amount of time in the error position, which is what we want. We're trying to improve as we practice. But I do tend to lose sight of the value of doing it well in terms of a felt sense, in terms of a proprioceptive experience, in terms of a like an emotional, psychological, lived, circulatory experience. So, so here I am with my head plucked up, and I'm going through my practice, and then it tips, 4% out of what I normally can do as an advanced student. So I correct it because I'm an advanced student. That's great, and that's what we want to encourage. But a challenge for you is to recover a sense of what it actually feels like to do it right by contrasting it. So, where you can safely do this and wisely do it, what I'd encourage you to do as you're practicing is just take that out. So it's just not in the form for a moment. So now I go from doing it at a 10 to a 0 or whatever the numbers are. And then when I get down to my sort of non-conscious um shape or posture or what have you, then I return to as good as I can do it, right? So we go from, let's say, a 0 to a 10 rather than from a 9.96 to a 10. And this can help me get a real good sense as a teacher, um, an empathetic sense of what it feels like to do this improvement, why it is that I'm always telling people to do it, why I'm reminding myself to do it, because I have a really strong sense of it when I go from drought to flood compared to fairly rainy, a moderate amount less or more rain. So it really kind of brings it home. Again, just to do it safely, I wouldn't unsafely move my knees just to have a big felt to change when I do them correctly again. But where I can do that, whether that's a shallow breath, plucking up the head top, keeping a posture, keeping the feet pointed where they point in your form, uh, doing something less coordinated with the whole body, and then coming back into coordination. That's the sort of thing that I'm talking about. So that's your Nèijiāquán challenge. Please do it only if you're ready to do it, and please do it safely and do it in good health and have fun. Thank you.